that is what it is. And I'm finding that Chelsea, it's sort of like, it's painful viewing, isn't it? It's watching through like gritted eyes.
Gritted eyes, yes.
That's how they feel.
It is like watching through gritted eyes.
What could go wrong is going wrong. And
sometimes to feel pain, I just put grit in my eyes.
Yes.
So that I can...
Which is probably what it feels like for Graham Potter at the moment as well. Will he still be there in the coming weeks? That doesn't need a long answer.
Don't know. Every single week now, some of my friends in one of my WhatsApp groups go, that must be it now. That must be it, surely. When they lost to Southampton, the problem with like the performance against Spurs, did you watch the game, John?
I watched the first half and I was like,
it's the same in the second.
I don't want to do this.
It's like the lethargy in the passing. So like tactics are very important in football, but you have to have the like intensity and desire and some sort of coherent plan. Like I thought Newcastle looked really well coached in the League Cup final. Like clear passages of play. They know where the ball should go and when. When the ball gets, when they press high and the ball gets cleared, they're in the right structure to be able to then head it forward to pass it out to the wing to the fullback, so they have control. They control games. Chelsea don't have anything. I don't know what they are. It reminds me of when you bring a bunch of like mates just to fill in the numbers at five-a-side and they don't know each other, which is what they are, essentially.
That's what they did, yeah. It just cost them a lot of money, more than £3, for 45 minutes.
£3?
Well, or whatever. That's the price
things
of
are good in Norwich, yeah, I was going to say.
So, yeah.
Cost of living crisis.
Sure, it's like £11 or something like that for 45 minutes.
My goodness. Premier League goals table here in front of me since the start of November. Chelsea and Everton propping up the rest of the division with six, let me just say that again, 6 Premier League goals since November. Manchester City have scored 27.
That is bad.
That is particularly bad. So there we go. Well, but that will rumble on as it does.
Is it 2 wins in 15 for Chelsea, I think? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. 2 in a long time.
No, that's not great form.
No, I know enough to be able to agree with you on that one.
Yeah. And if you wanted to move on from this, Mike, the last thing I'll put into it is that I think who is it that said this? I think I might have seen it on the Twitters, is saying how if they were to get rid of Graham Potter and bring someone else in, they'd need someone who can work with lots of young potential players, which is what Potter's quite good at doing. Because whoever comes in otherwise will go, well, I need about 6 first-team players now, which will cost an extra 180 million for each one.
It probably has got to the point where it would actually be pointless sacking him.
They should fire Graham Potter, then hire Graham Potter. He'd be the next best choice.
Just have like a palate cleanser before he comes back in, like a sorbet, manager.
Who do you get? Who do you
get him in again? No, give him a break.
Give him a break,
Graham, go away. Have a break.
Seriously now, yeah. In Frank Lampard voice.
Yeah, seriously.
Who do they get from here, do you think? If they were to bring someone in?
I think they should just go for the best narrative in world football of it's so bad now, just wait until 3 years' time when it's all clicked. Just
keep going.
Yeah,
just
keep going. Has a football club ever just sort of kept going regardless with the manager?
Part of me does want to see this
anywhere.
because it feels as though that's what's happening, right? It's sort of like the fans are like, he's got to go. Yeah. Everyone's saying, this is terrible, but they'll just plough on until the
How bad could it get?
I was just going to say, I did a video on Potter recently where I said, essentially, like he tried to do his thing and now he's just got to a point where it's like, we'll play 4-2-3-1 and then just try and get the players to sort it out. And they sort of build up at the back a little bit, like pass it around, and then they yeet it forward really quickly.
He pins a piece of paper with the names on it to the wall. It's all right, guys.
Runs off, and it does seem as though that is what is happening. And I can't really get my head around why that is the case. Why he's just potentially he's just completely lost control.
But then it wasn't even that. It wasn't even the basic 4-2-3-1 in that game, because he was doing the thing where it's a 4, which is a 3, and then the front 3 is a 4 or a 2.
One of them drops in. Yeah,
they're all trying. Like they look to me like they're all trying to figure out what they're meant to be doing and when and where. They don't know who's going to be passing. Yeah. Like so many times they get the ball and they can see they just pass it to the nearest person, then look around. They don't know where it's supposed to have gone. It's always the nearest pass. It's never. But one of the things that Arteta's Arsenal do is that they skip the first pass, they go to the one guy after it, so you move play forward. But Chelsea just goes short, and then short.
A lot of people were saying that they felt that the passing was really turgid and Chelsea are playing really slow, but I feel as though the opposite is the problem. I feel like in the past, Graham Potter's teams have been that. They've been like maybe on the slower side of build-up.
This was really
phase.
slow all the way through.
But like, I, in watching them recently, I just feel as though they sort of move it around the back, and then they're like, right, we've got to try and get it in the left half space, and then get everyone there, and then see if we can solve a problem by just having loads of great players in that left half space.
But it's interesting because you see that passing map where all the passing was like a diamond on the left. But that must be a coaching problem. That's odd. Well, not coaching. Like the coach is trying to get a team together. Like, what's he meant to do?
It's still only February, just about.
Well, you got a job in November?
It's a mess.
September.
The players only arrived in January. I mean, it's a bit of hiding to nothing because Chelsea never lose to Spurs, do they? And they never concede goals to Spurs, and they always beat them. And so it's a bit like, well, you're just rocking up, and all of those things are just going to be a stick to beat you around the head with by the time full time arrives, which is what happened.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to some of the world's best sports journalists, including journalists dedicated to each Premier League team, so every fan gets the coverage they deserve, not just the big clubs. And you can try it for free now for 30 days. See the link in the description.